someone who procrastinates excessively, then it can cause anxiety. It may reduce motivation and even cause depression. So it's kind of like this never ending cycle, because you procrastinate because it causes anxiety, which creates even more anxiety because you're procrastinating and you have to get this thing done. You don't want to do it, you're avoiding, and this and that. So it just becomes this whole big cycle and a whole big loop that you can't seem to get out of. It's like a hamster wheel that you can't get off of. And so procrastination can be especially problematic when it comes to doing big projects like paying your bills or applying to a new job. So you just delay. And there's so many reasons as to why people procrastinate, but one of the things that I've noticed with procrastinators as so one of the things that people who procrastinate have a deficient in is planning, and they're lacking planning and creating systems for themselves to just get things done, because that's essentially what you need to do. Because unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that we have to do on a daily basis, we don't want to do it, but we have to do it because it needs to get done. Like going to work. Like, I don't want to go to work, but I have to go to work so I can, oh my god, there's a kitty on the floor, cute. But a lot of times, like, I don't want to go to work, but I have to go to work because I have to pay bills, right? So if I don't go to work and I just lay in bed and I don't make money, then it causes anxiety, because I'm like, where am I going to pay these bills from? Like, from what money? And so then I want to procrastinate more because I have so much anxiety, and it's just a never ending loop. So the only thing to combat all of that is to just go to work and just go do the hard stuff that no one wants to do. And so what I want to say, when it comes to your goals, when it comes to accomplishing a goal, because work is one thing, but when you are when you are your own boss in creating the life that you really truly want to live, then it's so hard to get a grasp of yourself when you're not somebody who lacks that skill of planning. So in this video, I want to give you guys the breakdown on how to plan so that you won't get triggered by your flight or fight mode, because that's exactly what happens when you procrastinate. You either flight, freeze, or fight. You either fight the procrastination and you just get it done. You run away from it, which is a lot of what a lot of procrastinators do. They just run away from their problems and they avoid until the problem becomes so big that you have to give attention to it, and then you have to fight the fire. You freeze, or you just break down, have this mental breakdown and this depression because you just can't get yourself out of it. But one of the things that we're going to focus on today is just planning and how we can create a system so you don't have to trigger that response for yourself, hopefully. But in this video, I'm just going to give you guys that breakdown and create that system for you. So if you guys have never watched any of my videos, my name is Draldi, and I make videos all about procrastination, goal setting, and productivity. So if that's the type of content you love to consume, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I'm at Draldi Silva. I wish I had chapstick. My lips are so dry. Okay, so number one, your thoughts are causing anxiety. Okay, you're never ending, I call it my laundry of to-do list. My laundry of to-do list causes me anxiety when it just lives in my head. So one of the number one things when it comes to procrastination, and the number one thing that I always say to start at, is creating a brain dump. When I was first getting into this whole world of becoming disciplined and more committed to my goals, that is the number one thing that I did. I created a brain dump, and it does not have to be pretty, it does not have to be cute, it does not have to be anything other than a mess, because that's what your head is at right now. It's a mess of the laundry of to-do lists that you have to do. And so what do we do with laundry? We have to fold it, we have to put it away, and organize it, right? So that is what we're going to do eventually, but first we're gonna dump all of this out. Same thing when you do with your laundry. You dump it all on your bed, you're gonna dump it all onto paper. That's why it's called a brain dump. You just word vomit all over your page. So grab a piece of paper, a pen, get your notes app, whatever you want to use, Google Docs, start just jotting down all of the things that you have to do or you want to get done, you want to accomplish, just literally anything and everything. Doctor's appointments, birthdays that are coming up, holidays, and just literally anything that lives in your brain. We're going to put it down, and we're going to worry this laundry list of to-dos. We are going to tackle them, we're going to focus on them, and we're going to try to reduce that anxiety for you, so you don't just fall into that hamster wheel of the loop. So one way to slow ourselves down is to create that brain dump. So grab a piece of paper, write it down, and like I said, it does not have to be pretty. It's just literally a piece of paper and you just write everything down. I literally did this yesterday. I didn't have a lot of my laundry to-do list, but I did that yesterday. Just because I have so much that I want to get done for the new year, so much I want to get done before the new year. So I'm just like, we're gonna bring in this new year with fresh, great energy, and we're gonna start that by creating this brain dump. So number 2 thing is we're going to create a priority list based on this brain dump that you just did. So what needs to get done as soon as possible, okay? Within the next 2 months, within the next week, within the next day. What needs to get done? What is a priority on that list? So I tend to like to do is that when it's a brain dump, there's different categories that I like to assign my list. Once you have it all just like written out, I like to categorize it between like home to-dos, business to-dos, personal to-dos, kids to-dos. So it's all like in a category and nice and organized. And in each category, there is a priority. Or there's just one main priority that's just causing the most anxiety, whether it's like, I have to turn in a project, I have to turn in a paper, I have to submit this stuff for work, I have to, like, there's a big number 1 priority that needs to get done, so that once it's done, once it's submitted, once it's completed, like 80% of your anxiety is gone. Because that's the number 1 thing that's causing it. For me right now is my resignation letter. I need to send in my resignation letter, and I'm delaying it. I have to send it today, so I'm going to do that later on. And I'm like, I need to just click send and submit it and call it a day. And that is the number 1 thing that's like the 80% of my anxiety. After that, it's just everything that it is with YouTube. Like, that's 80% of my thing. But we have to tackle what is the main source of your anxiety. So create a priority list. Categorize your to-do list once you have your brain dump. Categorize it. Organize your thoughts. Organize it by categories. Organize it by whatever you want to organize it by. Just have it all written down and nicely organized. And then create a priority list between those categories. What is the number 1 thing that you have to do between those different priority lists, okay? You still don't even have to get up from your bed, okay? If you are just like, I don't even want to do that, then we have a different problem. But you don't even have to get off of your bed. You don't even have to get up from your you don't have to get up from your chair. You can do this laying down. You can do this on your notes app. You can do this wherever. Just get it done, okay? Just get it done. Now, the number 3 thing is that we want to tackle one thing at a time, okay? We are going to fight the fires 1 fire at a time, okay? If your house is burning down, we're going to go item by item if we need to, dust by dust bunny. We're going to go room by room, just fighting these fires and getting them down so that we can just have a fresh new place to start with. So we can feel peace again in our home, and we're not having all this anxiety of, oh my god, my house is burning down if I don't do something about it. So we are going to tackle one task at a time, meaning you're going to schedule one big task to do a week if you need to, or you're going to schedule a task that you're going to do for 1 day. For 1 day, you're going to pick a day out of the week. You're going to schedule this task in. You're going to work on it for 1 hour, and then that's it, right? You've completed at least that hour. And if you wanted to do it again the next day, then do it the next day. We're going to complete a task, one task at a time, because if we do too many things at too many times and we haven't created the system yet to be able to handle all these things that we have to do, And then everything is just going to fall through. You're going to feel like a failure, and you're just going to go back to procrastinating. And that's the last thing that we want to do. We want to create a system. We want to create an environment where first things first, we got to lay the foundation. First things first, we got to put all these fires. We can start over fresh. We can start over new, and we can build from the ground up, all right? So we're going to schedule a task. We're going to schedule one big task to do a week, and you're going to work on it 1 hour. For 1 hour, 1 week, okay? Depending on what the priority list is. Let's say it's you've been delaying this doctor's appointment and you have to get it done. So you're gonna schedule yourself a call to just call to schedule. You're going to schedule in your calendar a day to call and make this appointment. Now, getting there is a whole different other story, and we'll get to that later. But for this week, let's say it's a big appointment that you have to do. For me, it's my dentist appointment. I got to do it. But we're going to schedule that big project in our week, and we're just going to make that call. It's not you showing up. It's just scheduling a call for that specific task. Okay? For that specific appointment. That's it. That's all you have to do this week. Then whenever that time comes where you have to show up for that appointment, hopefully you've gathered enough courage, you've gathered enough momentum, you've gathered enough motivation to actually show up to your appointment and just get it done and have that release of anxiety. But again, this is an ongoing process, okay? If procrastination is a trauma to you, it's something that you have to consistently reflect on, consistently work on, and consistently make mindful of that this is a hard thing for you to do, and you shouldn't put yourself down on it, because sometimes it's like weight on people, like actual physical weight on people to need to get up and go do something. It's not as easy as for somebody who has, like, let's say a lot of high energy, who has a lot of motivation, who has a lot of discipline. Some people just lack that skill, and it just makes it 10 times harder for them to even get up from their bed, and I understand that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, take it one step at a time, take it one task at a time, one big project, okay? Because again, we want to relieve as much anxiety as possible, so that once that's done and completed, then we can move on to the next smaller little things, okay? We want to relieve as much anxiety as we have, because if not, if you're just relieving like little fires, then the big fire is just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and you're not going to want to tackle those small ones. At least that's what happened with me. I tackled all of these little tasks, and then my big fire just kept burning. And then after a while I was like, you know what, my whole big house my main living room is on fire. I don't even feel like doing all these small little rooms. I'm just gonna say F it. But once I had tackled that big task and I'm just like faced it head on and I fought the fire, then I had enough courage to put out the rest of the rooms, the little fires, and then my house was all calm. Okay, we want to put out the 80% of what's causing the anxiety. And if it's an appointment, if it's studying, if it's just putting yourself out there and posting your first video on YouTube, if it's whatever the case, we're going to fight that fire first so that we can relieve our home from its burning down, essentially, okay? So, number 4, it won't get easy unless you start. I promise you that it's only going to get worse the more that you delay it, okay? Why I say procrastination is a trauma is because I work with kids who don't necessarily procrastinate, but they have a trauma response towards doing hard work. And so they tend to either avoid the hard work by causing a disruption or leaving the table or X, Y, or Z, right? They lash out in a way so that they don't have to do the hard work, the difficult, challenging task that maybe I'm presenting. And sometimes the task itself is not that hard. It's just getting started that's really, really hard. It's just starting a task itself is just so difficult to do. especially again from somebody who maybe isn't so highly motivated on a daily basis. So, but what I want to say is that nothing is going to get easier. Nothing is going to move off of that list unless you start actively working on it, unless you start actively positioning yourself in front of that anxiety and being like, I'm gonna face you. I'm going to relieve you of my brain. I'm going to relieve my brain from you, and we're gonna get this done. We're gonna get this over with, and it's just, once it's in the past, it's in the past. I don't have to think about it, I don't have to worry about it, I don't have to do it again, and that's that. It's just, it's done and over with. So I want you to understand that it's never ever going to get easier unless you start getting yourself up, unless you start pushing yourself a little bit more, unless you stop giving into yourself and start telling yourself no more often, is when you're actually going to see some progress with yourself. So again, I go back to the beginning of, we have bosses that keep us accountable to showing up to our jobs, and so that's why we continue to show up. However, when it is our own daily situations, our own daily routines, our own goals that we want to accomplish, it is so hard to be your own boss when you're not strict with yourself, when you're not hard on yourself, and when you're not giving yourself tough love, and when you aren't telling yourself no, because we have to tell ourselves no in order to get things done. So we start by there. We have to start grasping ourselves and telling ourselves, get a hold of yourself, get yourself together, and just get up and go do it. Because nothing is going to get easier, nothing is going to get better if you just keep avoiding the situation. And if anything, you're just going to end up losing out on so many opportunities because you are avoiding your responsibilities. So the last thing I want to give you is number 5. It's a mental battle until you learn. So every single day that you have to wake up and get stuff done, it is going to be a mental battle. It's going to be a mental battle of choosing two things, either staying in bed a little bit longer or getting up and getting your tasks done. And it's going to be a mental battle every day, because you're going to want to choose obviously the easier side and staying in bed longer and not doing the things that you need to do. But I go back to the beginning that you're gonna just stay in that hamster wheel of a loop, of a toxicity loop within yourself, because you're not allowing yourself the amount of strength that you need to get up and just go get stuff done. You just literally have to go get stuff done. Okay, it's a choice that you need to make every single day. It's a choice that has to be done. It's a choice that you can't do, that I don't know why I have so much brain fog, but I do. Maybe it's because I didn't drink any coffee. It's a skill that needs to be learned. Obedience, discipline, commitment to change. It's a skill that needs to be learned, and it's a daily battle until you learn it. Until you learn it, then it's so much more easier on the other side. You can get up, you can get stuff done. You don't have to think twice about it. You already know what's good for you. And there is a plus side to all of this. Once you've learned that skill, it's yours for you to have for the rest of your life if you continue to practice it, if you continue to utilize it. No one's going to take it away from you if you put it into practice. But we have to start somewhere. So with every single day, it's going to be a mental battle, like literally a battleship. Like you're going to be slaying a dragon every single day. And that might sound tiresome to you already. But once you slay the dragon, I promise you, it's so much more better on the other side. So much more better. You just have to tackle that big dragon first so that you can live a much more peaceful life, and you're not waking up to like, oh my god, if this dragon finds me, I'm gonna get eaten alive. I have to hide from this dragon. And the dragon is like the big project that you have to do. I have to hide from this dragon because I really don't want to get it done. I really don't want to do it, and I'm trying to avoid. But once you just slay it, once you just get it over with, it's gone forever, and you could just wake up a lot more peaceful. And so those are all of the stuff that I have to say today. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I'm at Joelle Silva. I did want to say that I have a new product over on my website. It is a Notion template of creating your goal. It's a goal planner, keeping track of your goals, keeping track of your habits. So if you want to utilize this as you are entering the new year, as you're trying to stop procrastinating, then this template would be perfect for you. It is a digital template that you just utilize for Notion. So it'll be down below. All the details will be over on my website. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye. Mwah.